Now, you mentioned Vision a few moments ago. We did get a look today of a new character poster, finally really showing him off in detail. I think he looks awesome. What do you guys think?
Yes.
I think he looks awesome too. I was on the set of this movie, and I feel like everything's been released from the set, so I can say what I saw now.
Yeah.
Like,
Say
which
it.
was the Vision, and it was really frustrating to hold it back all that time because we walked out on, we were in Avengers Tower, the set that is Avengers Tower,
right?
And we were like in Tony Stark's lab, and like walked to the window and looked down, and it was his living room, the set for his living room, and there's the Vision and Thor, and going at it, and like. It was so hard not to tell people that you're like, we're seeing the Vision.
Now, you had mentioned that like his look was incomplete on set, so it is kind of digitally augmented, or
the look is the makeup was actually very similar. The colors are a little different.
Okay.
And
was it as pinky purple as it is?
A little more so.
Really? They toned it down?
Yeah, to read. And like, I think that this is my memory. I didn't take a picture of it. That would have been illegal. But he also, the cape is, this was like, the little moments on these things are kind of my favorite.
Right.
But the cape is digital, and so like every time they shot a sequence, there was a grip, like some like guy in like a t-shirt and jeans that had to come up and do a cape take and swing around with a cape so that they would have that as a plate for the CGI.
Like a reference. Yeah.
And then with Thor, there was Hammerman. We called it Hammer Time because he would they would cut and Thor would stand like this, and this grip would come walking over and or pop up from underneath a chair or a couch and like give him his hammer. And they would shoot again.
That is like such an old school trick. You hold, you cut, and then you'd see it all the time. Like old. In fact, I saw a thing. I think it was on Cracked or something. They had like one of the first movies shot. Just a short thing that I think Edison did was I think it was supposed to be like the execution of Mary Stuart or something, but it was a beheading of a woman.
Yeah.
And you watch it, and it really looks like a woman got her head chopped off. But they actually was like the first time he ever did the whole cut and then bring in the dummy and then go.
Thomas Edison,
so he basically invented that shtick. But like it's amazing. Like right from the beginning, it's like, okay, how can we kill somebody on camera? Like
we're gonna do this.
And then just all this technology, and there's just some grip. Like I don't know if he was a grip, but somebody hiding behind a couch and popping up with a hammer. It's like.
First of all, I love when you're on a set and people are just hiding out behind things. It's just really funny to see.
Well, it's also too because they
angle.
almost always end up caught on the camera or something.
Yeah.
Like there are those videos where you see somebody like hiding the boom mic or something like in the background.
You talk about still feeling giddy. I mean, like those are very giddy moments, where you're just like, what is going? Like, do you see this? This is the other amazing thing that's not like anything about this is spoilery or anything, but it was stuntmen too. So their stuntmen were there. And what was crazy is that we were watching one side of it with Thor's stuntman, and then Hemsworth comes out, and normally the stuntman is much bigger than the actor, and he's towering over him. Wow. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, Hemsworth
you
is
literally
a very
are
tall dude.
Thor.
Yeah, totally unlike Blue Crush where they used male surfers in bikinis to double for some of the surfing scenes.
What, really?
Oh yeah. You have to go back and watch it.
But the topic of this particular conversation is about superhero like looks and reveals. So we like what the Vision looks like, right?
Yeah.
It's not all we saw. We also saw today. We had 3 things drop basically.
Oh, things.
The next one, The Thing. See.
Yeah.
Now this is a mocap effect. Like Andy Serkis does his Gollum and all that. What did you guys think of that?
Craggy.
Well, it didn't
look
that great, I thought. I thought it looked passable, but he didn't look, no pun intended, it didn't look fantastic. It actually looked pretty workmanlike effect to me. It
looked like the rock biter to me from what's
or a lot of folks too were saying it
Story.
looked like the rock scorpion angel things from Noah.
Or even the Thor creature, the rock creature from Thor.
Yeah,
that shows up the Dark World.
The Noah ones were a little
spidery.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's always so hard to tell until you see these things in motion.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm thinking of 3 different cases where people were like, that looks terrible. Quicksilver is the most recent one. And then you saw it in the movie and you were like, that can be more awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if that will be the case here. You know, possibly not.
I do wonder, like, the fact that it's performance capture, you would think would actually make for a much more expressive and dramatically satisfying kind of way to do it. But it doesn't look like he's really going to be able to emote. So why not just wear a suit then?
I have the same feeling about this thing as I've had about the trailer and about the movie in general. It's kind of like, wait and see. It's kind of mediocre right now, but wait and see because I don't really know yet. Yeah. But I'm not like super like this is terrible, but I'm also not like this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Yeah. I kind of want to see how the movie itself plays out. Yeah. And Doom, man, that's the big question mark.
Yeah,
that's
that
the
really
thing I really
is
want
like.
To see.
I am not expecting Dr. Doom to look good. I mean, if the kind of reference outfit that he was wearing on those leaked set photos is any indication, I mean, it looked on par with the original Fantastic Four movie. Right. You know?
So does Thing, kind of.
Yeah.
I think you could do.
And that was a suit, and that was chickless in a rubber suit.
Yeah.
I think you could do a little darker Doom, you know, a little bit more like sinister looking Doom.
And more like Darth Vader.
Doom?
Yeah.
Doomy, doomy, doomy.
Doomy, doomy. I don't know what happened there. We went to that place.
Moments on Keeping It Real.
Zooby, zoo.
I wanted to mention, though, that the Thing costume from the Corman movie is actually holds up. Not too bad for a movie made for $1.25, and that's not good. I got to say, that Thing costume still looks more like the Thing than I felt like the last two have, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, the Thing is a weird one to translate too. There's nowhere to hide doing that costume, right? You have to make it look like a pile of rocks. You animate it into a person's body, kind of thing. So it's difficult. Like I don't envy those people who had to make that come to life. And it's tough because if you do it in a suit, you get the chickless version from Fantastic Four, which I thought looked rubbery, looked not real. Then this one is like more CG, so it has the potential to look better mocap. But
I mean, it depends.
We'll see.
It depends. Like I do think that an inherent concern all along with this movie has been the whole idea was like, well, they got Trank, they're going to do a more grounded, grittier version of characters that shouldn't be that. Yeah. It's a pile of rocks. running around,
well, I mean,
orange rocks from Brooklyn.
It's a weird one in general.
It was Brooklyn, right? Not Bronx. He was from Brooklyn. Thing. Yeah.
I think so.
Get your burrows.
Yeah.
It's a weird movie. It's a weird comic because it flies in the face of a lot of things that a lot of comic properties do. It's a family, an actual family. There's a marriage that exists. There's no sort of like budding romance to play off of. And it's these really, really larger than life characters that fit into this sort of really I don't know. I don't want to say it's like super, super family oriented, but it kind of is. And I think that's the tone that they were going for in the first movies. That missed.
Yeah.
This remains to be seen. So where do you strike that balance?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be it's a real gamble to try and do it as a dark, serious, almost have moments of like body horror in the superhero show on IGN. Had a whole episode about this kind of Cronenberg take on it.
Right.
So like how do you? But the early comics, and Joshua Yale, our comics editor, had pointed this out a few times. It does deal with sort of the horror of, oh my God, what is happening to us? Right. Before it became more of a superhero and family kind of friendly title, but yeah.
I think it's a tricky. Yes. I think that's a tricky thing to capture. Which doesn't mean it can't be done because we've seen that done before,
Well, in the comics, like later in the comics, Franklin became this like super powerful character, and I think like if you're going to go the route of doing it this way, like the progression would be to get to that place where this kid is like a really, really, like, how do you deal with a kid that is that super powerful?
He becomes the kid from Chronicle.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean...
But now all I have is Herbie on the brain, because you mentioned that the
Herbie.
little robot guy from the cartoon. Now I want that. You know,
now you
thanks.
want Herbie? Well...
You know what else is tricky to get right? Being a blind guy making your own costumes.
Oh, snap.
Oh,
we mentioned
with
that.
the segues.
We mentioned that last time.
So we also got
I kind of want a graphic of a segue.
Yeah, or just Paul Blart going by on the stage.
Paul Blart's going to
Marvel's Daredevil dropped the red suit finally, and it was you know, it's a TV series and we're a movies podcast, but it's Marvel. Let's talk about
Marvel
some
Cinematic
costumes.
Universe, really.
Yeah, I mean,
fits
you
in.
know, yeah.
It
so
does.
what did you guys think of that suit as opposed to like the Affleck version, which got a lot of heat at that time for being basically like a leather biker suit?
You know, they had talked a little bit, we were talking about this earlier, that the indication was you knew that you were going to see the suit by the end of the season, so we knew it was coming, and that it was going to appear very much like, not like he had gone and had a suit made, that he had piece by piece kind of crafted something that made sense for what he was trying to do, and that is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, you see a lot of like, not screws, but
rivets?
Something, yeah, where it all looks like it's kind of pieced together.
Yeah.
It's very Batman Begins kind of look thing to it. I mean, I think the one thing everyone kind of noticed is just the mask, where it's almost like a helmet, but he's got kind of, and I know they had said in past interviews that it's like anything that he could buy online or at an Army Navy store, and he does look like he's wearing one of those like sweater hood things that like World War II frogmen would have on or something, or like, you know, commandos.
I think it's just meant to be very pragmatic because he can get hurt, right?
Yeah.
So like the idea of the suit is to protect him as much as possible. So I think that because what he's wearing initially, and you've all seen it, is like some pants,
at least
a shirt,
ninja pajamas.
Ninja pajamas. I mean, I like the look of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's from that comic,
it's from
the Man Without Fear comic. Yeah,
and it looks good.
Yeah.
At least it's not, you know, the scuba suit from Kick-Ass.
Right.
You know, like there's more protection there.
But I think that what it looks like to me and what it's meant to be is that, you know, knowing that he can get very hurt, he's just going to try and craft things to protect himself.
Yeah, it looks like really Kevlar, and you know, like it looks like red Kevlar, and the helmet actually has a little bit of a Catwoman thing going on, where the horns aren't real horns necessarily protruding. Yeah. They're kind of part of the contour of the outfit, but you get the indication of horns. I liked it. I thought it was good. I think when he looks back, this is so nitpicky, when he looks back, it looks better than when he looks down like this.
Yeah, it suddenly, I think, I felt like the perspective of it changed. Like, suddenly his head looked really big when he, you know, when he lifted his head back. Yeah. But the mask looked much broader than I was expecting it to be.
I mean, again, it's not, that's one.
I'm sure he'll get a new one at some other point.
Yeah, well, it's one iteration, but it's also just one sort of quick shot.
One look at it, yeah.
One look at
it. Although I will
say
that the Affleck mask, that was Daredevil. I mean, you know, that's, you know, it looked like Daredevil. I didn't care for the leather suit thing, but, you know, I think in hindsight, at least the mask looked like the character. Now, in this one, though, are those just like black sunglass lenses, or what's up with the eyes?
I was looking at that too.
It reminded me of the Soska sister when she showed up at Comic-Con with her black eye lenses, contacts. I was like, I don't see irises. It's very strange.
We were just talking about this before the show. We were talking about how people in Jamaica are getting their eyeballs tattooed black now, like the actual eyeballs. It's causing all this eye damage. So that's a real thing now.
No kidding.
Yeah, don't tattoo your eyeballs, kids.
It was like that guy who had his face turned into Red Skull.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we were talking about extreme.
How do you even do that?
Yeah, we were talking about just extreme surgeries,
like
and
body.
we are going.
You have to watch. Oh, here.
Rabbit hole.
Remind me of. I'm going to recommend at the end
Extreme
a certain
surgery?
movie. No, a movie about that, but we'll save that.
All right.
Anyways, so.
Boxing Helena.
No, wait till the end of the podcast.
That's my recommendation.
So, all right. So overall, thumbs up, thumbs down on the Daredevil costume.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah, I like it.
Thumb right about here.
Like,
almost there.
Half-mast.
Like,
yeah,
three-quarters mast.
A bit of a chubby.
That's almost like, why bother? You know,
well, I'm just sort of like, I want to see a little bit more. I think
know?
it'll be interesting.
He wants to see a little bit more before the.
I want to. I want to see it in motion to make a final call, but like I like the first glimpse of it.
At least he can turn his head. He's got just a sweater.
The world that they've created, it has to fit in with the world and the character that they've created on the show. So it does have to be an evolution, you know. Like,
but he's blind. How does he know what color suit
we
he's
were
getting?
talking about that.
We talked about that.
Like he must be getting help, you know.
Yeah. Somebody's like, that's the red one.
Well, somebody's helping him make
What's
it.
red? Oh yeah, no, he would know what red is.
You would know what red is.
Yes, I know. So all right. So overall, we liked. So far, we've liked 2-ish of the 3, and I guess the ish one is Thing.
Right.
Again, we'll take our
more.
wait and see. We want to know what you think of these 3 new looks: Vision, The Thing, and Daredevil. Let us know in the comments below.